Skutty, it's nice to have you on here, man. Would you introduce yourself for people who may not know you?
I appreciate you for having me on, brother. My name's Dylan Salva. I go by my nickname Skutty. I've also branded that into my business. It's just my all around brand. So yeah.
How did you come up with the name Skutty? How did that nickname come about?
Um, and it was probably like I want to say it was like 2014 or 15 or something. I was just out uh late night with a couple of buddies, and I went to say I don't know if I was trying to say a word that's an actual word or if I was like reading a sign or something, but I kept saying Scuddy and it wasn't the word, and then it just kind of stuck. Like they just started calling me Scuddy all night, and then I just changed my social medias to it, and yeah.
Holy shit. So let's start from the beginning. What was your childhood like?
Yeah, man. So I live in beautiful, sunny California now, chasing that bodybuilding and acting dream. But growing up, I'm from North Brunswick, New Jersey. Only child, both my parents were super involved in sports. I had a dog since fifth grade, so I was kind of like my brother. That's who I hung out with. But yeah, growing up, it was really just all about football and basketball. Kind of ran in my family. Like my grandfather, my dad's dad, he was All American in high school. He was the best running back in the state. He had scholarship offers to every school in the country. Chose to join the military instead. And then my dad, he was the best tight end. I played tight end in football as well. He was the best tight end in the state. He had a full scholarship to Nebraska. At the time, they were ranked number one in the country. My mom was the cheerleading captain. My uncle is the all-time leading scorer at North Brunswick High School in basketball. My other uncle ran like a 4.240. He had an offer to Penn State as a freshman in high school. So like sports really runs deep in my family. So, getting back to your original question, that was pretty much my childhood, man, just playing sports and playing video games. I'm big into video games. So that was kind of always something I did to, in my downtime, preserve my body and whatnot, because you're so exhausted from, my dad would have me running the stadium steps at Rutgers University, and he had me start weight training in eighth grade so I could be ready for high school. And
Mm.
yeah, man, it was just very sports oriented childhood, family oriented.
How would you raise a son if you had a son?
How would I what?
How would you raise a son in today's age?
In regards to what? Like kind of like my upbringing or just in general?
Um, in general, what would you want your son to? What qualities would you want him to have? And what? How would I don't know. Feel free. This is an open-ended question, more like.
Yeah, no. I mean, for me, my girlfriend, she's like 5'11", 6 foot, and I'm 6'5". So whenever anyone sees us, they're like, "Oh man, like your kids are gonna go to the NBA or the NFL or whatever." But honestly, I would do what my parents did. I was forced to play sports year round, right? So like, when you're growing up, you have
Mm-hmm.
the sports every season: soccer, baseball,
Yeah.
football, whatever. So I'm gonna make my kids do that because I feel like that's very important for building. I don't like more so like a social. There's a lot of social value to that.
Mm-hmm.
You're forced to hang out with people that you don't know under tough circumstances, right? Because sports brings
Yeah.
pressure, and it brings a lot of like so many skills that people overlook when it comes to sports. So I would
Definitely.
definitely playing sports. A lot of qualities that you can build through that you carry on the rest of your
Mm.
life. I've found. But I'm not going to be too pushy, man. Even though like I did make the NFL, had a short stint. Let that plane go by real quick.
It happens.
I would have did this inside, but we just moved to a new apartment, like I was telling you.
Ah,
So there's stuff to be
that's
done.
fine.
My girlfriend is off today, so I'm kind of just letting her I didn't want to hog the house for this, make her, hang
Yeah.
out in the room. Yeah, I'm gonna allow my kids, like even though like I did make the NFL, I played football and basketball in college. Now trying to go pro in bodybuilding, I'm gonna let my kids make their own decisions. Now I will, you know, give my honest opinion, and obviously like any parental figure would, like you're trying to lead them and guide them, but yeah,
Mm.
I want to give them a choice, because I was
Yeah.
always given a choice. I was always pushed more towards football, but I'm
Mm.
thankful for that because at a young age you're not gonna make the right choices for yourself all the
Mm.
time. You need someone to kind of force you to do things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna raise them a little 50-50, like I'm gonna
Mm.
give you leadway to make your own decisions, but if I feel like I can add value, I'm gonna, come in and take over,
Yeah.
and kind of how I want to lead my family.
Huh. Who did you look up to as a kid? Did you have like any idols or anyone like that?
Um, I mean, my dad, growing up, obviously, I feel like every kid looks up to their dad. But outside of that, like if you're talking like, athletes, whatnot, football, growing up, I played quarterback. So like, I loved Brett Favre. He's like my favorite quarterback ever. Defensively, I played DN. So Javon Curse, my favorite defensive end. And then basketball, Shaq, man. Shaquille O'Neal is my all-time favorite athlete in general, like in the history of sports, because that's all I did at a younger age. And then once I got into bodybuilding, it was guys like Lou Ferrigno, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jay Cutler, because I was
Yeah.
much younger when they were in their prime or out of their prime even. So yeah, growing up, those were like, from a sports angle, those were like my guys.
Yeah. I get it. What's one childhood memory that still makes you smile to this day?
Hold on 1 second. Your camera had froze. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, my bad. Ask what's one childhood memory that makes you smile to this day?
Childhood memory that makes me smile this day. Probably going over. My whole family would go over to my grandparents' house every Sunday.
Ah.
We would just cook a bunch of food and watch NFL games. We would all just kind of just hang out. And I know growing up,
Mm.
that was always like, something I'm going to hold near and dear to my heart until I die. That was always like just great memories, man. It was just
Yeah.
great days from start to finish.
Let's get into fitness. When did you start working out?
So 8th grade, my dad had me start working out to get ready for high school sports. I was having a chance in both football and basketball to play varsity as a freshman. So, there's you're going from a boy to a man, and you gotta, mature quick, and your body has to be able to take those hits. So we started in
Yeah.
8th grade.
Huh. So I want to ask something. I want to leave it for later, but let me just ask it now. Why do you think some people don't get the results in the gym that they expect and then they give up early?
Because the hardest part about getting results in the gym, I shouldn't say the hard, well, it is the hardest part, but what matters the most to get results in the gym is everything you do outside of the gym.
Oh
Your
shit.
diet has to be on point. If you're not
Yeah.
dieting, I really don't care who you are. It's never gonna work out for
Yep.
you. And then sleep, you have to recover. And I think also, and that's just me, my mindset, those two things growing up in the age, like without social media started like my senior year of high school.
Mm.
Um, but I would say in today's world, social media, because people see all these guys on steroids and SARMs and
Yep.
all this other stuff that they lie about, saying they're natural, and
Yeah.
everyone thinks go in the gym and achieve it naturally, and you can't, and then they give up on themselves
Yeah.
because they're watching all these dudes that are either their age or even younger than them with a 10 times better physique, and these guys are taking hammering years
Mhm.
off their lives, abusing PEDs, and
Yeah.
you who's going to the gym not really knowing much about anything, like, oh, this, this isn't for me. And meanwhile, they might only gave it like 2 months, without even
Yeah.
dieting or supplementation, or there's so much that goes into it, man. But
Hmm. Speaking
yeah,
about speaking about diets, like there are always the people that go extreme, but I never understood people that go in between these two, which is the vegan diet and the carnivore diet. Like I would, if I had to choose one, I would lean more into the carnivore, but even that kind of like is a little too extreme for me. What do you think about these two?
yeah. So being that I'm a trainer, um, and an online coach, I'm certified in nutrition and training.
Yep.
I'll never act like I know something or try and put something on someone if I haven't done it myself. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the year, but it might have been like 2019, 2020. I had a vegan client reach out to me, and she wanted
Mm.
to have me coach her online. And I was like, man, like I've never been vegan.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, you seem to know what you're doing. You have a lot of clients. Can't you just kind of like research it? And I was like, yeah, I could, but that doesn't
Mm.
really do much because research isn't going to do anything if you don't do it to your own body because you have no
Yep.
idea how things work. Though things work differently on everyone's body, you know, you still have to go through it yourself. So what I did was I went vegan for 3 months. And I told her, give me 3 months. I'm going to go vegan,
Mm.
110% vegan. I'm going to let you know like what I found to work and whatnot. And man, I lost like because I went clean vegan diet. Like French fries
Mm.
are considered vegan, so like
Fucking
I
hell.
see people stuff like that. I
That
went
must have been
full
horrible.
vegan meal prep company. Like I was ordering
Oh
20
shit.
meals a week, and I lost like 46 pounds in those 3 months. And I
Like
will say that
you lost that like accidentally or deliberately?
no, actually, I mean, I figured like if I'm gonna go vegan, I'm gonna in a healthy way. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna do a cut because
Mm.
I didn't know anything about it, and bulking would have just led to like pounds of rice. I didn't want to get fat
Yeah.
on it. So I just figured I'd cut, I'm never gonna do it again. So let me just see. And yeah, man, I lost those 46 pounds, and I'm not gonna lie, it was from I would say from like a normal human being aspect, it's the best I've ever felt. Because I lost all that weight,
Really?
all the inflammation in my body was gone. I had no joint pain, no tendon pain, no
Mm.
ligament pain. I felt younger, like my skin looked better, but I got so weak, and
Mm.
it's not right. Like I remember I got down to 6% body fat on that diet. I had a crazy 6 pack, some ab veins, but I still was a
Mm.
little fluffy because all that soy in a vegan diet it creates estrogen in the male body. So
Yep.
um, and then I've done the carnivore diet as well. Tried that for a bulk because I figured I'm just gonna hammer all of these proteins and fats, and just get big when I can. And it worked well, but so to your point, yeah, like I would choose carnivore over vegan, but I wouldn't. I would never do either or. It's not. It's not
Mm.
smart. It's gonna. No matter what, it's gonna mess up your metabolism. If your body's not used to metabolizing everything, and then you're not getting the nutrients and vitamins and minerals that through supplementation that you're not getting in these
Yeah.
select diets, then you're really not doing much for yourself.
Mm.
So yeah, I would take carnivore, but nonetheless I would 110% never do either. Like it's just not.
Yeah, man. Like I did try a little bit of a cope on a carnivore when I went basically carnivore and eggs. Like basically just meat and eggs for about 25 days. I must say, the main thing that I loved about that diet, just 10 to 15 eggs a day and 1 to 2 steaks a day. Like usually it was like a sirloin steak or a tomahawk or ribeye or something because what I was able to afford. I wouldn't consider hot dogs as meat. I would only like eat high quality meat.
Yeah.
So but the main mental reason that I found about that is man, all the brain fog and all the fucking sluggishness, all the wake up with 8 hours of sleep and feel tired, all of that went gone. Like literally, I felt like obviously my testosterone skyrocketed because eating over 15 eggs a day is fucking crazy. Because I was binge eating on eggs and meat. But I must say,
Yeah.
I think something of that is it's like eating 10 eggs a day is a habit for me right now, and I do that. That's the bare minimum that I eat every day because the way that makes you feel, it's fucking incredible. Like cutting up all the carbs for 25 days, that was like, man, I fucking felt like a primal, like, like the primal human who didn't have like all the stuff that we have now, all the simple carbs and the unhealthy shit. I felt
Yeah.
like literally I woke up in the morning. I was so fucking energized. I didn't have no brain fog, no like fucking. I don't know how to explain it to people because if you don't experience that clarity, you can't really imagine it because you think you feel good right now. Uh, but then again, when you try that, even for like 2 weeks, I think you're gonna feel a major fucking difference. That was like
Yeah.
the best 3 weeks of my life. Man. But then again, yes, not eating any carbs. I didn't even eat fruits. I took all my vitamins from supplements. I did not even eat any sort of carbs, even complex carbs. I did not eat any carbs for 25 days. Yes, that have had a toll on my recovery, etc. But then again, I do. Yes, you need carbs. Yes, I felt some side effects, but it was nothing unbearable. It was nothing crazy. But yeah, I did kind of like a cope of the carnivore diet, and that was my experience.
Yeah. I
Speaking
mean,
of,
keto, like you said, if you're not trying to like hammer away at it for a long time, like I'm on
mm,
bodybuilding prep right now. I'm a little under a month out from my competition, and I think the majority of the last week I will be on a keto
mm,
diet until I carb back up. So, there's definitely nothing wrong with it, but I think you need to have a game plan. Like, you can't
yeah,
just dive into and hop right out of it because it's going to throw your metabolism off too much.
yep. Speaking of that, what's like one thing that's considered healthy, but in reality it's just a myth and it's complete bullshit, but people still believe it's healthy?
Uh, well, like diet wise, or
Well, let's say like a meal that everybody think is healthy, but in reality it's not.
um, trying to think.
For me, an example for me would be cereal and milk because that's just so much sugar at once. Because usually when you eat a whole bowl of cereal and milk, and you have the low fat milk which is replaced with carbs, everybody thinks that's somehow healthy, even if you eat the protein cereal or anything like that. But that's just so much carbs, and those are simple carbs that will store as fat. So that's one example that I could think of. But yes, everybody seems to think that cereal and milk can be healthy. But okay, if you eat a really small bowl, perhaps. But people like fill the bowl with fucking low fat milk and then put a ton of cereal, and that's all just sugar. So in my opinion, that's not really healthy at all.
Yeah, I mean, the only way you could get away with,
Mm.
healthy cereal is like a rice based one. Like, I don't care how
Oh.
healthy the cereal is. If it's a corn based
Mm.
cereal, it's not healthy. They're using extra oils, they're using syrups, it's processed, it's all bullshit. So I would say
Yep.
like a pure rice based sugar free cereal though, like that's not the worst thing, especially if you kind of time it up either, as a pre workout or post workout meal.
Yep.
But honestly, man, like I would say smoothies because
Smoothies. Oh shit.
like all these like everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna get a smoothie, I'm gonna lose weight, a light breakfast, but like you're not. Normally like these people don't even do shit, or they'll get it after they did like some dumbass
Mm.
like soul cycle or spin class. I'm sorry to hate on like everyone does it. I've had smoothies in my life, but it's mainly like women. Like they think it's like healthy and they're losing weight, but you're fucking. Especially if you're doing it after like one of those dumbass like Zoom was
Ah.
like,
Yo, you cut
just
up.
blood sugar. after a workout, you're
Mm.
not burning it off. Like, yeah, it's the majority of those healthy smoothies obviously have natural sugars, which again, you're not going to
Mm-hmm.
burn off unless you're doing something after, or they have a lot of added sugars or just a lot of added
Mm.
bullshit. Like people add a bunch of shit to smoothies and still trying to act like it's healthy. But yeah, I would say the whole smoothie thing, because like you're gonna get far more benefit from like 2 eggs, 8 ounces of egg
Yeah.
whites, and a cup of oatmeal. And it's like people don't understand.
Yeah.
They think carbs are gonna make you fat. I could go on all day about that, man. It gets me pissed off even talking about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Honestly,
they smoothie.
even like protein shakes that are flavored like fucking watermelon ice protein shake or this chocolate protein shake. But if you look at the back of it, how many grams of sugar is in it? Like that's fucking scary. Like okay, I usually whenever I like order some protein shakes, I make sure that I always order the unflavored one because even if it tastes like shit or doesn't even taste like anything, at least I know that I'm not putting like all that sugar in it. Because whenever I look even at the vanilla ones or anything, it always has so much sugar in it that I just don't feel comfortable putting that inside of me.
Yeah, and they had like other processed shit. That's why I like
Yeah,
being sponsored by Five. Man, that was my
yeah,
dream sponsor because all the carb powders, the protein powders, it's all made with real food. It's none of that whey.
yeah,
It's none of that whey ice. It's powderized chicken, eggs, egg white,
yeah,
oats, sweet potato, yams, rice. Like it's literally real
yeah,
food. Counts as a meal. You're putting real food. Your body's used to digesting that. So
yeah.
yeah, a lot of protein shakes are misleading as well. They're either too high in, like you said,
Mm.
sugar or fats.
Yo, did you see that one video? It was trendy for a while, but people believe that shit. That protein powder and protein powder is made out of worms. Like they crush a lot of worms, and that's how they made the protein powder. People believe that shit. Do you remember that?
Nah, I actually never heard of that one.
Oh, really? Like there was this fucking video where there was in a factory and there was a ton of worms and they crushed them and then this is how protein powder is made and it's crushed into the powder out of worms and this is what people honestly believed. And some people were so stupid to believe this. It was like earlier this year and I was like those comment sections, oh my god, that blew my mind how stupid people are actually.
Oh, the bleep internet.
That was oh my goodness, that was crazy. Yeah, so how and this is like obviously it's not a one size fits all type of advice, but a lot of people train like obviously 3 to 4 times a week and everybody says that's optimal. But then again, do you think that training 7 times a week can work for somebody? It'll considering that you train different muscle groups every single day. Do you think that training 7 times a week is there any advantage to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're never training till failure, um, depending on your split. Now, I thoroughly believe you need at least an entire
Mm.
rest day or, like a day and a half of rest, meaning maybe Saturday, say you take your Sundays, your full rest day, maybe Saturday, you're just doing cardio in the morning.
Mm.
Right now I train 6 days a week. I'm usually 6 days a week. That's what I prefer. But yeah, I
Mm.
mean, I think Dorian Yates said it best. He said if you're gonna train less than 3 days a week, never
Mm.
expect to make any kind of progress. You might not even maintain. And he said if you're gonna train 3 times a week, which would be the absolute minimum, then you have to do full body
Mm.
each exercise,
Oh
or
shit.
again, you're wasting time, never gonna progress. So,
Mm.
that being said, I agree with that thoroughly. I think minimum 3 times a week, and
Mm.
then I'd say a maximum 5, 6. You don't really need, and you also gotta listen to your body. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mm.
don't. Some people might work out 7 times a week, twice a day. Like getting 14 workouts a week. Fine. I know I wouldn't, but like you
Mm.
said, there's no like size fits all for that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of annoying when people give like this like an opinion when they state it like a fact, like like they know someone, like they know everyone's body on earth or some shit. I just
Mm.
think more importantly, whatever makes you happiest and healthiest. If you're not risking injury,
Yeah.
then go times a week. Why not? You know?
You know, all these these guys from these OGs always had the craziest stuff, and it seemed to work for them. Like Rich Piana's 8 hour arm workout. No, 8 hour arm workout. Like that was fucking
Yeah,
crazy. Or
I did in college with my roommate. It was
or how
we
Tom
were in.
Platz was training legs once every 14 days. He said it as the maximum.
Who was?
Tom Platz, the Mr. Olympia.
Oh, class.
Yeah, Tom Platz. He said he would back in the day in the Olympia days. He would train legs maximum twice a month.
Yeah, I mean, he had the best legs of all time.
That's crazy. But also the intensity. To be fair, he was doing amounts of weights with 30 reps on squats. Like he didn't. How did he made that pain tolerance? How did he build that up? Man, his workouts were crazy. To be fair.
Yeah, man, exactly. That's what people don't, realize either. Like he trained so hard. That's what goes back to my
Yep.
point where you gotta listen to your body. He trained so hard. He needed X amount of days off before he could
Yep.
hit legs again.
Yeah, and then again, yes. Also, pain tolerance in the gym is very important because people think that they can compensate for hard sets with amounts of sets. Like do fucking 15 sets of leg extensions, and they don't even go near failure. Not even near failure. But if I do 15 sets, that's okay. No, dumbass. Like you need to like push your body a little bit, and you push your mind. But as soon as people think that as soon as they feel pain, that's when they stop. But when you feel pain, in my opinion, that's when the workout starts. That's when the set is supposed to start.
Yeah, as soon as you're feeling any kind of fatigue or burn, that's when you know, like, you got to try and get like three more. That's when you got to really push it because
Yep.
that's where you grow the most.
Hell yeah. So, I mean, yeah, pain tolerance, obviously, but how would you say fitness has affected like other areas of your life?
Um, I mean, honestly, for me, man, it kind of like saved my life to a certain degree without sounding
Mm.
dramatic because when I got cut from the NFL, like that was the only dream I ever had in life. So I went through
Mm.
severe depression for months to the point where I even stopped going to the gym. And then I
Oh
realized,
shit.
like, man, the gym was the only thing that was, keeping me afloat,
Mm.
making me happy. So it's definitely huge for my mental health. It's something that I look forward to. It's always the best part of my day.
Mm.
And then, I mean, just outside of like an outer shell, like your muscles, it's extremely important for your organ function. Like
Mm.
people tend to look past that. It's really like fine tuning your entire body from inside to out. And
Mm.
I think it also creates an extreme amount of discipline for me because
Mm.
I know if I'm going to go to the gym and work my absolute ass off to the point where like I might be laying on the floor panting
Yeah.
after a quad extension set, drop sets till failure, more drop sets, why would I put my body through that if I'm not going to go home and diet? Like, I'm not going to go
Yeah.
stop at McDonald's on the way home. I'm not going to
Hell
treat my
yeah.
body like dog shit. So it's more of a mental gain, honestly, than it is physically. And that's sadly where a
Yep.
lot of people, fall short of realizing that. And then they kind of give the gym like a bad
Yeah.
rep in their mind. Yeah, man. So I would say for mental health purposes, the gyms, that's like the biggest one outside of just, bodybuilding and
Mm.
just enjoy,
So
getting big.
apart from this period that you spoke about, was there any other point where you wanted to quit?
Where I wanted to quit.
Yeah.
Um, no, no, honestly,
Mm.
I think, that was just like, not many people in life even have like a true dream. And knowing that in like fifth grade, I decided like the only thing I wanted to do in the one life that I get was to play, have a nice long career in the
Mm.
NFL. So like to get there, not only to just have a dream, but to actually get there in a profession
Mm.
where 0.0001% of the world makes it, and then to have it just taken from you far before you're
Mm.
ready for no reason, no, didn't
Yeah.
get to retire on my own. That's just a combination for disaster. So I think,
Yeah.
it was necessary, and I think it showed me, I did give it my all in life, and I did, you know, it was my true dream, but I wouldn't even necessarily say it. I thought about fitness as quitting. I just kind of gave up on like myself, and fitness was the thing
Mm.
that I knew if I got back into it, it would, pull me out of that dark hole. So like, nah, there's really no quitting me. I
Mm.
never quit anything before in my life. Even right now, like this bodybuilding prep's been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm giving
Mm.
it my all. And
Yeah.
I haven't once thought about quitting. Maybe do it even more.
Mm. Hell yeah. You know, I always the smart thing that I've heard from Mark Delmatellis that I've done a podcast with a long time ago, a couple of months ago. He said the reason why people quit is because they don't turn these pursuits into lifestyle, and they turn this as they always have an end goal. And this is the thing that I teach my clients to not have, to turn this into, okay, I'm gonna make this enjoyable. I'm gonna make gym and the new diet enjoyable. I'm gonna find it somehow a way to enjoy it and to like it and get used to this. Because if you have an end goal, you think that this is just a period and I'm gonna train until I get a six pack and then I'm gonna be done. You're gonna lose that six pack if you even get to that point. That's why I always say
Yeah.
the gym should not be just a period. You should be get used to putting into your lifestyle to be a healthy human who exercises and just keeps your body. It should be like brushing your teeth. It should be like something that's like a non-negotiable. That's obviously like something that you even enjoy. And the reason you cannot make a lifestyle something that you hate. So finding a way to enjoy the gym is obviously very important. So this
Yeah.
is yeah. So I believe that the reason why people quit is because they don't turn these things into a lifestyle, whatever they do.
No, I agree, 100%. You hit that spot on.
Yeah. So I want to ask about discipline. Is it? Some people say that it's a skill, and some people that say that some people are just born with it, and it's a born-in character trait. What is your stance on
I think both of those people are full of shit. I think that,
it?
that right there, both of those statements came from people with absolutely zero discipline because they're trying to
Yeah.
rationalize why the fuck they can't be by saying some pussy ass shit. Um, no, man. I mean, it's not a skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, a skill is, a God given ability that you were given that work on and practice
Yeah.
regularly. Like Tom Brady, throwing the football the best that it's ever been thrown. That's a skill.
Yeah.
That's a unique skill set. There's no freaking. He didn't have the worst arm in the world and wake up one day and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have the best arm in the world." It doesn't work like that.
Mm.
That's a born skill that he worked on. So no, discipline is. I mean, not to sound like a fake tough guy or like because I'm the exact opposite of this, but having discipline is just not being a pussy, not rationalizing with
Mm.
yourself, not, oh, I can have one cookie and I'll get back on the diet tomorrow. No, it's just like do whatever it takes to achieve whatever goal you have set out. And if you can't do that, then whatever you're trying to grasp onto this discipline to
Mm.
achieve, you don't care about it as much as you think you do. So that should tell you
Yeah.
right there, if you don't have the discipline to do whatever it is you're trying to achieve, just stop because you're going to waste
Yeah.
so much time doing that. You're never going to achieve it. And you're just going to keep going in circles. And, whether it be like a physique thing, you're going to look the same or worse in 3 years. But you're still going to go around telling everyone, oh, I'm going to be Mr.
Yeah.
Olympia or some shit. But you're not, without discipline. And discipline's a choice, like,
Mm.
like just like anything else, it's just whether if you want to do it or not. It's that simple, there's literally nothing else to it. Only you can control that.
Uh,
So
I also think that the main reason, obviously, they cope is because it's the people they surround themselves with. Because I'm gonna give a simple example. I was in middle school. I was like 14 years old, 13, 14. And I was skinny fat. I was actually pretty fat, not just skinny fat. And I started going
Mm-hmm.
to the gym when I was 15, 2 years ago. So I was like 14, and I was like fat as fuck, and I had this shirt that was pretty tight, and I was fat as fuck. And a girl from my class said that I've got titties bigger than hers, which is objectively true. And now I got offended, blah blah blah. I went home. I told my brother, bro. I was like 13 already. Bro, I was just a crybaby bitch. My brother said, "No, I've had enough of this. Nobody's gonna bully you around like this. Tomorrow the morning before school, we're going on a 30-minute run." I was like, "Oh no!" And I was expecting my brother to comfort me, say that I'm not that fat. No, my brother told me, "No, you're fat as fuck. Come on, let's go on a run tomorrow and let's change it." And my brother
That's a
didn't
good
come.
brother.
It's he's 6 years older than me. It's the people that you surround yourself with is what you're gonna tolerate, because my brother did not tolerate any bullshit from me. He was like, let's change it now. If you want this to stop, you don't go tell the teacher, you go and fix the problem yourself. It's like my brother told me, okay, if you want people to not stop calling you fat, you need to get in shape. And it's like, if my brother would say, no, 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 man, no, don't worry about it. You're not that fat. She's just stupid. I would have stayed fat to this day. My brother changed that whole paradigm for me. And that's what I'm the most grateful for, my brother. So what I want to say is to people, the people that you surround yourself with, if they tolerate your bullshit, you're going to tolerate it too. And then you're going to stay mediocre with whatever aspect of life that may be. But if you have people that push you
Yeah.
and that actually tell you that you're full of shit or that you're failing in this aspect, that's gonna inspire you to improve. So that's another thing. People don't have somebody to hold them accountable at all.
No, it's true.
So that yeah, that's an important thing that I think it's a part of that. So
Yeah, 100%.
in general, what was the main struggle in your journey as a whole?
As a whole,
Yeah.
in life or in regards to
Let's okay. On the diversify this, let's talk about life in general now.
wait 1 second. You said start with life. What? Sorry,
Diversify, talk about life in general now.
my life in general. I mean, I haven't really had any. Like, I've had a good life.
Mm,
You know, everyone's family's happy,
yeah.
healthy. You know, kind of went through the steps in my life of what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. I got to
Mm,
play my two favorite sports in college. Got to go pro, which I always wanted to do. Graduated college, which I wanted to do. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much everything, in life that I've set out to do, I've done to a degree. Not
mm,
everything always works out the way you want it to. I think I named my biggest
mm,
struggle was the whole football journey, but even that, it's like, how much can I complain? I did make it
mm,
there. That's what everyone says. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to make it, and I'm only 30. It's like I wanted to still be playing right now, but
mm,
to some degree, I did do what I set out to do. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really say anything too,
mm.
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
really the only struggles I've had is because I put them on myself for wanting to be
Mm,
great. Never just to be an average human being. I just want to
mm,
be one of the greatest in the world at whatever I'm passionate about. So now the
mm.
next struggle, bodybuilding, but yeah, I don't have much to complain about, man.
Yeah, I love this positive energy, man. So another thing, do you have haters?
Yeah, yeah.
What they say? What can they say?
Um, I mean, the funniest one to me was always, when I was in the NFL,
Mm,
I had amazing guys. Like when I was at Jets local day, I had Teddy Bridgewater, great
mm,
NFL quarterback. He's playing pool in the same room I was hanging out in. He said, "Congratulations, making it this far. Like, good luck on the rest of your journey, man." Mohamed Sanu, He's actually from the town next to me in New Jersey. Great NFL wide receiver. I was talking to him at the Atlanta Falcons cafeteria after practice one day. He was like, "Man, like, you know, no matter what happens at the end of this camp, he's like, you made it. You know, you're in the NFL and shit." So like, it was always it was funny because you're hearing from like the people at the top of the sport that you're in telling you like, "Great job," you know, while you're there on their team. And then just because I never played in the game, when I got cut, and I had like former NFL player in my bio because I was a free agent at the time, so I'm still trying to get back in the NFL or a better league, whatever. You get some dickhead who lives in his parents' basement, nothing to do, chatting at commenting your DM, you never made the NFL. It's like, bro, you probably even played in fucking high school, dog. Like you're an
Yeah.
actual loser and you suck. So like
Yeah.
to even like express your failure of a life
Yeah.
towards me to like try think it'll like dwindle my aura in any way, shape, or form. Like there's no shot. I love that shit. Like that
Yeah.
makes my day because I already know, you know, it just means I'm doing something that this person knows they can never do. And you know, it makes them feel better being a complete loser to try and bring
Yeah.
me down. Doing the opposite,
You know, always, I've never, they say that hate never comes from above, but it's so true because I've never had someone like trying to bash what I'm doing that's actually more successful than me. It's always the people are less that they are the ones who are trying to pull me down. And it's like, yes, it's just a saying, but how the fuck does it have such a coincidence? It's not a coincidence because it's actually so fucking true. I mean, I don't know if you've had this, but I've never had somebody more successful than me trying to bring me down. I've never had that. I don't know if you've ever
no,
experienced that. No.
man, they were already where you were at. They
Yeah.
started out, like if you want to make, you know, I don't like this is your podcast, whatever. You know, if you wanted to be one of the best podcasts in the world, you know, there was at one point in time where someone with the best podcast on earth had the shittiest podcast on earth. Didn't even have a podcast yet,
Yeah.
but they understand the journey and they've done that. Some dickhead who has no drive, no no anything, can't even like start something. Of course they're gonna hate because they have no idea what it's like to actually try and do something for themselves, you know. And that I
Yeah.
mean it makes sense when you think of it that way. Of course,
Yep.
someone doing better than you in the same lane as you isn't gonna hate because they know the struggle. Like they had the same dream you had. They want to see you achieve that dream. Whereas some loser who peaked in high school or college, now their life sucks for the rest of their life. Of course, they're
Yeah.
not do good or have anything good to say, you know?
Yeah. Like I left high school in May this year, and I had one friend from high school that I still sometimes speak to. He's just an acquaintance, not really a friend anymore, but we sometimes speak, or he sometimes DMs me. And he said like, "Yo, you know, in our class, like they're probably in the last year. I don't know how you Americans call it, if it's senior or like that in American high schools. It's the
Yeah.
fourth year." And he says, "Yo, like these guys are hating on you, like, or they're talking bad about me, since I love high school." And I'm saying,
Yeah.
"Well, what have they done since I've left high school?" And he says, "I don't know, nothing really. Still in school." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, and now look what I have done. I finally start making more and more money online." And I'm like, "Man, you see, these people stay at the same place and they try to hate somebody that's moving, but they are the ones who are stuck and froze at that same place and they don't want to take the next step, and then they want to bash somebody for making a step, and that's the snakiest shit I see. But then again, I didn't actually care. He asked me, "Do you want to know what they say?" I said, "Nah, not really." I don't even care,
Oh,
bro.
man.
uh so I wanted to ask you about something. How did you become a bodyguard for people like Kevin Gates and Fetty Wap?
So like I said, I'm from New Jersey.
Mm,
And I moved back there after my, you know, pro football thing was done. And Fetty Wap's also from New Jersey. We lived like 40 minutes
mm,
apart. And he DM'd me asking if I would be his trainer. I guess a couple of my
mm.
workout videos popped up on YouTube, days in a row, and he decided to reach out to me, and then
Mm,
just became best friends like super quick,
mm,
man. Just started hanging out every day, even when we weren't
mm,
working out. Then he asked me to be his bodyguard so we could
mm.
hang out, or so he could, pay me more money, help me out more. And then
Yeah.
I met Kevin at a club, and it's kind of weird, man. Well, not weird. It was like a god kind of thing. Like we just saw each other. I went up to him.
Mm.
The second he looked at me, he just gave me a big hug, and we hung out for like 5 hours, I think, or something crazy like that. It was a long time, but yeah, we kind of just hit it off. He exchanged numbers, and then when Fetty got arrested, he'll be out soon,
Mm,
thankfully, within a year or two. But when he got arrested, it was 8 days before Kevin was going on tour. So he reached out to me and offered me the bodyguard job on the tour.
mm,
And I've been with him for like 3 years now. I've been with Fetty for 5. So it kind of all just happened, man. I mean, when I started personal training, I didn't, like I said, like when I do something, I want to be the best in the world at it because
yeah.
I know what it takes to do something like that. I did it for the NFL. So
Mhm,
I wanted to train celebrities, whomever. And, I started with Fetty. I've trained a couple of current NFL players, big time influencers. So, yeah, it all started. I mean, comes back to fitness, man. I think
mm,
whatever you're passionate about, you're going to have discipline. You don't have to fake it. It's just going to,
yeah.
everything's genuine. So it really just, it all kind of made sense, man. I'm blessed to be where I'm at. They're two great guys. I've been asked to bodyguard for even bigger names in the industry. I've turned it down because I don't really see value in
Mm,
affecting someone's life that I don't love and care for. Like I love these two dudes. They're my brothers. So
mm,
they're going to be the only one I bodyguard for. And, I'll train any celebrity in the gym. But
mm,
as far as the bodyguard stuff goes, nah, I'm just going to stick with the training in
mm,
that regard. But yeah, that's kind of
yeah.
how all the bodyguard stuff happened, man. Just
Mm.
kind of honestly randomly happened. Had no plans of doing it. So
Yo, so what's like the best and worst thing about being a bodyguard? Because I'm sure it has a lot of downsides and upsides.
it's
Is it
honestly
like
not.
is it like people imagine it to be, or what surprised you about it, for example?
Um, I mean, honestly, just for me personally, and like the life I live, trying to become a pro bodybuilder and stuff, I would say the worst part about it is all the travel because it throws off
Mm,
just diet a little bit.
yeah,
Maybe my routine, different time zones.
yeah.
The best parts, though, I mean, it's like a double-edged sword because the best part's also the travel. Like I've been to,
Oh,
I think every state in America except for Alaska. So like I've been everywhere. And it's cool, I
yeah.
never thought I would get to do that in my life.
Huh.
And it's the coolest part too about it is like my job, obviously far more to it, but like for me, just looking at all the positives, I get to a big part of my job is getting to watch my favorite rappers perform as my
Mm,
job, so it's like
yeah.
it's a man. I get a concert and I'm getting paid to work it, and it's really cool, man. I really do love the
Well,
job.
again, if it's with people you love, that's fucking an upside like hell. But I want to ask you, do you have a crazy story as a bodyguard?
Um,
Like, did
I mean,
someone,
yeah,
some strange person, like come up and something crazy happen?
yeah. I mean, I've seen a bunch, man. I've
Mm,
fortunately none of this stuff had to do with our crew directly because we're not involved in any, like illegal activity. We just kind of do our
uh-huh.
job and get going. But I've seen people get shot and
Yeah.
killed right in front of me,
Fuck.
multiple times. Uh, like literally like 10 feet from me, I saw someone get.
Fucking hell.
So, you see some stuff, man, but,
Yeah.
uh, it's, I mean, it, it's kind of like what you would want to make of it, like anything else, right? Like if you watch a documentary or like MTV shows like what tour life is like crazy as hell, insane parties. Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
then yeah, like you have that option. I've definitely done that a couple of times, but being 5 years in, the past like 2 years for me now, it's just after work, I'm getting some sleep, I'm getting up real early the next morning, getting
Mm.
cardio in before my flight, getting a lift in. So yeah, I mean it's changed, but yeah, like it's everything and more than people would imagine. Like
Mm.
it's I mean when you're dealing with people that well known and that famous,
Yeah.
you have access to things in life that you never thought would be imaginable. And I think like a lot of people like I know, like they have no idea, like they have no clue the
Mm.
things that I've seen, what I've been a part of, what I
Mm.
have access to. It's like there's a lot, man, but it's all good things. I love the job, but yeah,
Yeah.
it could be whatever you want it to be. It could be the whatever
Uh-huh.
you have in your mind of the craziest times ever, or it could just be a regular job.
Hmm. But I mean, yeah, man. I mean, you're a real like they say that the best bodyguards are not always the biggest guys. But bro, if I saw you from fucking 15 meters away with those fucking two huge guns on your arms, bro, I'd run away. So to
Dude,
be fair, bro, you
because
look scary, bro.
normally those dudes are like 6'8", 6'9", and like fat as shit. But those are the dudes that I've actually seen get knocked out the most. Like I don't,
Oh fuck.
but honestly, I think a lot of those guys, I hate to even say this, but I think a lot of those guys are hired because they're kind of just like human shields.
Ah,
Like for it's,
true,
like I don't
true.
think a lot of rappers care about their bodyguards as much as
Mm,
Kevin care about me because we have a relationship beyond a work level. Um,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen anyone in better shape than me bodyguarding yet in person, but definitely much bigger in stature for sure.
Mm. So I wanted to get in some rapid fire questions before we would wrap up. So ready?
Yep, let's do it.
So what's the best advice you've been given?
The best advice I've been given was from my dad. He said always give 110% effort and 110% respect because two things come out of that. One, you won't have any regrets with anything you do if you know you gave it your all.
Mm,
Two, no one can ever say shit about you. Like no one can ever say a negative
mm,
thing about you. They can, but it doesn't fucking matter because it's not going to be
mm,
factual. If you're giving 110% effort and respect, doesn't fucking matter what anyone
yeah.
says about you if it's shitty because they're gonna look stupid. You go in and day out and give it your all. Most importantly, it's about not having regrets, but it's you never even want to give someone the opportunity to be able to say anything bad about you without making themselves look stupid. So I think
Mm,
that advice has carried me through my entire life. Like if I
mm,
don't give 110% effort and respect, then with whatever I'm doing right now, being like bodybuilding, then I'll
mm,
go home very upset. Like, man, like if I dogged
yeah.
it today, I didn't give it my all, like I'm gonna be pissed at myself. And I think that's really the only way to, truly succeed at what you want to do in life.
Hmm. Giving 110%. Yeah, that's a good advice. How old were you when you heard this?
I want to say he told me that in fifth grade, travel basketball.
Oh shit! Since a young age, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that my whole life. Fortunately, he told me that at a young age. I was able to really hold on to that.
Yeah. So now the opposite of that. What's the worst advice you've been given from someone?
The worst advice is,
Yeah.
and it's a thing actually, but um, when people say like, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket."
Oh.
You ever heard of that saying?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
What's up? What about it?
No, no, no. I've heard about that.
Yeah, yeah. So like, if someone says, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket," I mean, why the fuck wouldn't you?
Huh.
Like, the eggs break, you go get new fucking eggs. You know what I'm saying? Fucking
That's a
threw in
good
the
analogy with eggs.
basket. I never understood doing something and not putting everything into it. I genuinely don't even know what the fuck the point of doing
Mm.
anything is
Yeah.
with giving your all. Like Kevin Gates always says, how you do everything is how you do anything. So like,
Mm.
if you're gonna wake up and half-ass brush your teeth, you're gonna get cavities.
Hmm.
And then you're gonna go out on stage that night, probably half-ass your performance, in his
Mm.
situation. But for me, it's like, why the fuck wouldn't I put all my eggs in one basket? Like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you think? Like,
Mm.
when the eggs break, oh, you gotta try and put them back together or some shit? Nah, you just keep going, bro. You get new eggs, you get a new fucking basket. Like
Yeah.
like took my last semester of college off to fully pursue getting ready for the combine and pro days and stuff. And people were like,
Yeah.
oh, like, you should finish, get your degree. Even my agent said that. I was like, man,
Mm.
fuck that. Like, I'm not asking you. I'm letting you know I'm taking off and I'm gonna give this shit my all because
Mm.
I'm not gonna have any regrets. Same thing with bodybuilding, dude. Like,
Mm.
I will put my all, 110% effort and respect into this shit every single day leading up to my show. And if I come in dead last, if I come in dead last place after putting all my eggs in one basket,
Mm.
well, it's gonna show me like two things. Like it's not a loss, it's a lesson. You learn from that shit.
Mm.
You fucking get new eggs, you put them in a basket, and you fucking
Yeah.
attack the next show. Like there's no, that is by far the worst fucking saying I've ever heard in
Mm.
my life. The first time someone told me that shit, I wanted to smack the fuck out of them because I just think anyone anyone that lives like that is just
Mm.
I mean, fuck, man. Like, I have a hard time having any kind of respect for people like that. You might as well
Yeah.
just like, what are you gonna? You take a shit and you don't wipe your ass all the way because you want to save toilet paper. You don't put all your in one basket. Like, get the fuck. I
But
don't
at
know.
that point, you're not maximizing anything in life, and then these people are so surprised when they don't see any results in anything. But it's like you're gonna put 50% into bodybuilding, you're gonna fail. You're gonna put 50% effort into boxing, you're gonna get your ass whooped. You're gonna put 50% into being a personal coach, your clients are not gonna get any results, and then you're gonna be seen as a scammer. You're gonna put 50% effort in something, and then you're gonna fail. You're not gonna maximize what you do.
Yeah, and even if you do and you fucking fail, bro, like who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
At least now no regrets. You did all you could. You had
yeah,
fun doing it. And guess what? You're fucking alive. It didn't kill you. People act like you put all your eggs in one basket, you wasted time, then you get your fucking head blown off or some shit. No, still alive. Like I
yeah,
never understood. So yeah, I fully agree with what you just said. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, man. Fucking hell. Okay, this is like an interesting one. What's the purpose of life for a man?
For men,
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I can answer that for myself. I don't want to generalize because I would hate to
yeah,
compare myself to a lot of men on this
mhm,
earth. Um, but I would say for me, my purpose is to just, you know, especially at 30 now, which obviously like
mm.
it's not old, but when you're 18, you never think you're gonna be 30 years old. And like when I'm fucking 80, I'm gonna be like, shit, I never thought I was gonna be
Mm.
shitting my pants trying to stand up. But I think I think for me it's just maximizing, every day, like treating
Mm.
my family as good as I can, treating my girlfriend, my dogs as good as I can, my
Mm.
friends that I hold near and dear. And I think, treating myself as good as I can because I think we just all owe that to ourselves. You have to be selfish to a degree because I
Yeah,
think, if life does go by super fast, man, and I think that honestly, like your purpose should be whatever you want it to be. I
mm.
don't I don't even see an issue with someone who wants to make minimum wage and go home and have a couple beers every night and like play video games or watch TV, if that genuinely makes them happy, that's completely fine. Because every
Mm,
single one of them can die one day. Even though I'm working my tail off in the gym, dieting a million times healthier than the guy who I gave just an example of, I'm still gonna die too. It's not like I'm like one upping him or pulling a fast one on him. You know, none of us make it out.
mm,
So I think whatever just makes you happy should be your purpose. And but for me, it's more about I want to give back and like I want to help people. So like whatever I can do with my own self through fitness now, I would hope that I can influence people to want to have like their best body, their best mental health,
mm,
whatever they need out of fitness. I hope I can give that to them, help them achieve that, because I know what it's done for me, and I know how much it's helped my current clients, my past
mm,
clients. And yeah, I would say my purpose is just to help, give back. I want to have a beautiful, healthy family,
mm,
and yeah, man, that's really it. Just kind of live a good life, man. A good, honorable life, you know.
mm. So you see, I always actually no. I wanted to disagree with you on what you said about the person who just goes to work, then a couple of beers, and then plays video games and jerks off. Yes, that might make him temporarily happy, but that will he will still feel empty inside because I believe that if you're a high testosterone man, you really wanna make something that you're proud of, and then again, it's instant gratification that doesn't last. Video games and beers, etc. And then again, if you build a body that lasts, as long as you maintain it, that lasts. If you build a family, that lasts. And I don't think there's multiple the types of happiness, right? It's the short term as you described for those types of people, but I feel like the the type of happiness that men should be chasing is the long term one. Something I always disassociate my current self, my past self, and my future self. So in this way, it's impossible for me to hate myself because I only hate my past self and what he's done for me because he might have been a dickhead, let's say. But
Yeah,
I love the idea of my future self enough to be uncomfortable right now to have him to give him some good experiences in the future because I'm gonna be him at some point. So I always disassociate my past self, current self, and future self, and I always see that what I'm doing right now is I'm doing it for my future self. And I feel
yeah,
like when you're playing video games, you're just being a dickhead to the future self because you don't care about where he is gonna be. That's what that's my objection to that example.
no, yeah, and I agree with you because that's something I would never like, promote or necessarily say that I, think that it's a good idea. But again, who am I to judge someone who that might be all they have? Maybe that is something. That's all I was saying is like, if it's what they do, I'm not going to talk down on it, but I would never
Mm,
associate myself with that lifestyle,
no.
nor would I, bring light to it in a positive way. It was just kind of like, if that's what you're going to do and
Yeah.
it genuinely makes you happy, then, all right, then
Mm.
so be it. That's kind of your thing,
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. I get your point.
Yeah, but no,
So
I agree with what you said 110%. I would never urge someone to do that.
yeah. So some people say that there is a correlation between health and wealth. And do you agree with that? Is there any correlation between health and wealth? Some people think.
I mean, yes and no. I find that I'm trying to think how to. I think, man, it's. I mean, there's so much that could go into it, right? Because like
Yeah.
obviously, like I know, there's a lot of healthy personal trainers that work at like a
Mm.
Planet Fitness or like
Yeah.
a chain gym that make absolutely no money. But
Yeah.
maybe, the wealth in that is their physique, their mental health,
Mm.
and other things. Like it doesn't just have to be, currency, money. So
Yeah.
I think I truly believe health is wealth. Like I said, it's a huge mental health thing for me. And just being healthy and doing what I love, like that's what keeps me going in life. So to me,
Mm,
that is wealth because I wouldn't really have anything outside of that, and it pushes me to want to make
mm.
more money and create a better physique to make even more money off myself. So yeah, I think to a degree, health is wealth. Um, if you're not strictly saying that in a money sense, you know.
Yeah, because yeah, think about it. You can take a billionaire, a multi-billionaire, one of the 100 richest people on earth. But if he's just gotten a diabetes diagnosis, he would pay billions to be in shape and to have preventing that from happening. For example, you know,
Yeah.
he would pay with so much money to pay for his health. So in that aspect, it is.
Yeah. No, 100%. I agree with that. The way to
And
look at it.
yeah, I believe that health and wealth, there's a correlation between that if you keep your eyes and ears open, because as you said, some personal trainers at Planet Fitness that don't make any money, they are not trying to innovate and trying to find new opportunities. They use their health to use their health to create financial wealth. They're not keeping their eyes and ears open, and they keep them shut and doing the same thing that they've been doing. Then yes, might not be correlated to financial wealth if you're not open to it. You know, if you're not trying
Yeah,
new things. Yeah. So
exactly.
I want to ask you, who is the most impressive person you've ever met?
I mean, I was fortunate enough to meet Shaq. I got to meet Shaquille O'Neal once, who I said is just my
Mm.
all-time favorite athlete and probably just human being outside of like
Mm.
people I actually know. And then, man, I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of people, you know, that I've
Mm.
actually been able to become close with. I mean, um, I wasn't even gonna mention Kevin or Fetty because
Mm.
it doesn't even like that anymore because they're like my friends, you know, my brothers. But obviously those two. Um, I'm friends with Jay Cutler. He's a Hall of Fame bodybuilder,
Mm.
Mr. Olympia. But I think I was fortunate enough to I met Lou Ferrigno, who's my favorite
Mm.
all time like old bodybuilder, and then currently my favorite bodybuilder is Big Ramy. And like I was signed with the same supplement company as him, and
Mm.
I got to experience an Olympia weekend where he actually won the
Mm.
Olympia, and we did a photo shoot together. So I
Mm.
know I just like 5 or 6 people, but
Yeah.
those are definitely the ones that it was like, man, like this is like I'm happy I got to experience this in my one life, you know.
Hmm. I always say like the people you surround yourself with is like the limit that they are gonna set on you. You see, if all of your friends are gonna tell you that making $10,000 a month is unrealistic and unreasonable, you're gonna start thinking that, or that's gonna drag you down. But then again, if you hang around with people that make that a week, a day, then it's gonna seem more realistic, and you're gonna take more action steps towards that because you're gonna believe it. So with that in
Yeah.
mind, what would be one networking tip if for people to change the people around them? You know, to meet people that are inspiring them, for example, to do better. What would be your number one tip?
So a networking tip, if they did what? I'm sorry.
To change the people around them, to meet new people that are actually going to inspire them and improve their lives.
Oh, like to try and meet those people, you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, for me, it was just kind of going to like fitness expos because you know I
Mm,
wanted to can get more into fitness. So I would go to the expos and then.
yeah.
But I think the most important part about that shit is, man, like that a lot of people just can't do because they're not. It is being
Mm,
genuine. Like a lot of people just aren't genuine. Like they want to meet. Like, do you know who Larry Wheels is?
yeah, I know him.
So I'm sponsored by his company, Team Personal Record, and
Mm,
last year he invited me to Zoo Culture, Bradley Martin's gym, to do a leg
mm,
workout. He put me on his YouTube channel, just him and I working out. I'm on a huge
mm,
leg day workout on his YouTube, and for me it was I was a huge fan of Larry. Like it was crazy watching how motivating his insane feats of strength were.
Yeah.
And I never had any, for a second, any thought process of, oh man, if I could just get on his YouTube or do something with him for clout, like I'm gonna blow up. It didn't cross my mind
Mm.
once. I just had the opportunity to work out with a great in the industry
Yeah.
and to learn and get better. So
Mm.
that was kind of the same thing. Like when I met Jay Cutler, a bunch of these guys. Like I'm good friends with Joey Swole now. I
Mm.
think it's just, same thing with Fetty, man. Like he said that was the first thing he noticed. He was like that I was just being myself and being genuine. Like most trainers asked him for like
Yeah.
$20,000 up front. I told him the first session was free. Just come see
Yeah.
how you even like it. So networking is gonna be, you gotta be realistic with yourself. You gotta expect to get out what you're gonna put in. Like these people, what you have to the most
Mm.
important thing you need to know is that if you're going to meet someone famous, someone wealthy, someone super successful, is that they've met a million and one of yous. So
Mm.
they can see right through you, they can read
Yeah.
you, they know if you're just trying to gain off them or if you're being genuine. So I would say if you have no other plans and maybe just bettering yourself through them, like
Mm.
being genuine as opposed to gain, like taking
Yeah.
something that you take from them and build yourself, then don't even fucking go up to them because you're just gonna waste their time and your own time.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, they try to lick their ass, like this analogy with like their fucking behavior. They're trying to act like a fan, and then they're trying
Yeah,
to treat them like the celebrity, and then they're surprised when they get treated like a fan. I mean, obviously, when you're gonna ask for pictures and you're gonna fucking tell how much you fucking love them, obviously they're not gonna respect you because you're putting yourself below them because they're putting them on a pedestal when they are just a human that achieved something that it's inspiring to you. But they're still like they're not like superhuman. It's not like a sheep and a tiger, you know, like all human. But
yeah,
yeah, so when people try to even when I do these podcasts, man, I've had a lot of people that have inspired me, a lot of millionaires that I look up to a lot of people. But then again, I don't try to lick their ass and do my behavior and just be fucking their number one fan. I'm like speaking like to a normal person. Yes, I show
yeah,
respect. I show respect and I speak like to a normal person, but I'm not saying, "Oh, bro, I'm such a big fan of you. I watch all of your stuff and I know everything you've done this week and I watch every single one of your stories." Like, bro, like it's getting annoying at that point. I see
yeah.
how yeah people don't respect you when you do that. So I do understand what you said. So
No,
the
exactly. Um,
the last question is because I'm 17, I'm gonna ask you, what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
to me, when I was 17 years old,
Yeah.
um, man,
What's one thing that
I
you
would,
would want him to know about life, for example?
well, shit. First off, put all your fucking eggs in one basket. Don't listen to that bullshit. And
Yeah.
no, serious note, I would say, don't be afraid to fail. Like don't
Yeah.
ever
True.
second guess yourself going all in on something that'll make you happy. And one thing I really wish I knew and fully understood was that only you can see and feel your dreams. Like no matter how in depth you
Mm.
explain dreams to someone,
Yeah.
uh, they're never gonna understand it and feel it. And it's not their dream, so you can't expect them to. And I think the most important thing you can get out of that is that
Mm.
it meaning like don't let anyone defer you from that. So don't it's tough like when you're passionate and you really want to pursue something, you want to talk to everyone about it and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I want to do that. And
Yeah.
it's hard not to, but you're never gonna get the response you want to hear,
Yeah.
because most people be like, "Ooh, like that's a shot in the dark. Like, you sure you don't just go get a 9 to 5 or something?" And so I think for me, it would just, understand that no one's gonna understand or feel your dream the way that you do, and that you should fully, thoroughly attack it day in and day out. Just actively chase your dream daily, because one day, no matter what it is, there's an expiration date on anything. There's going to be a point in
Yeah.
time where you can't pursue it anymore, and then you're going to live life with extreme regret. Like,
Yeah.
I'll always the rest of my life with a couple of football regrets. Fortunately, nothing that's like going to make or break me, or I don't even look at it in a negative light anymore. It's just kind of one of those like what ifs. But I think that's something I really, really wish I knew and understood and kind of followed, because I do truly think it would have I don't know. I wouldn't have went back and changed anything. That's for damn sure, because I ended up in situations I never thought I'd be in life. I have a blessed life, but that's one thing I wish I just knew, because it would have made a world of a difference, especially at a young age when you don't know what the hell is going on or what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. But yo, those are valuable lessons. We gotta take them to heart. So what's next for Skutty?
What's next for me, man? I mean, the only thing that's next for me is going November 9th, winning my first classic physique show, and then my goal is to compete in the Olympia at some point. I'm not gonna put a time frame and end date, but I want to become a pro bodybuilder, and I want to compete at the Olympia. But for me, my next thing is just stay focused on this show and go out there and win it, and build my
Yeah.
brand. I want to become a household name in bodybuilding, man. That's kind of that's what I'm chasing right now.
Okay. Where can people find you, man?
My biggest platform, even though I stopped really using it much, is TikTok. It's just at the_Skutty_, which is the same as my Instagram, at the_Skutty_. My YouTube channel needs work, so I'm not even gonna give that. I gotta get that going at some point. But yeah, man, those are the only two apps I really use.
Okay, man. Well, it was really nice speaking to you. Thank you for taking the time of your day for this. Guys, thanks a lot for watching the end of this video. I'll catch you all on the next time. Alright, guys, so that talk with Skutty was amazing. I hope y'all have found a lot of value in it. And if you want to see more of these, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the like button. And also leave a comment if you found this valuable. Give me some feedback. Let me know who you want me to talk to next time, or what do you want to talk about. And also, if you want to help getting in shape, you might want to check that first link in the description. If you keep failing, if you keep gaining too much fat or losing muscles on a cut, might want to check that first link in the description. Then again, hope you've enjoyed this podcast, guys, and see you on the next one.